Good afternoon and welcome to Best Listener Ever. I am a 68-year-old black man deep in the heart of Texas, emanating to you from the Gotham City of the South. The time is 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you for joining us, those of you who will later, unless some of you come in during this relatively short live. We will always be live. This is a talk show. I'm going to require that you click on the like button, click on the share button, and click on the subscribe button, being very careful to also click on the notification bell so that you will be notified when we go live. Currently, we're going live at least 3 times a day for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes on the longer presentations, because we want to try to be consistent. We want to archive a list of videos that people can refer to when they want to find out a little bit more about our content. I'm calling it content. I'll elaborate on that in the future. But I'm not a content creator. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a leader or progenitor or an expounder of any particular point of view. I'm a talk show host. That's all I am. That's all I've ever been. When called upon to do anything else, I made it clear that it was not my forte to be anything but a talk show host. So you can take that for what it's worth. There are a lot of varieties these days of interchange, but none of them refer to themselves as talk shows. That's all I want to do. It's not a talk show unless you're joining in, and I will put up the link because I see someone that might see it and might just want to click on it. I don't know. You never know. I hope that this puts the link in the chat for anyone who might want to click on it and take part in this broadcast. That's why I'm here. Now, as many people come, whosoever will, let them come. I'll keep the so-called airwaves open. I don't believe in dead air. I don't believe in tap dancing. I don't believe in generating participation by picking on someone else or something else or going on a rant or anything else. I've gone through my phase of luring people in with what people call now hot topics, what I just called current events. You talk about a current event in a certain kind of way, and sometimes that encourages people to call in and give their opinion. I'll do the same thing here, but just not in the same way. You have to be convicted. I came to the conclusion a long time ago that people have to be convicted to establish themselves on a live channel, a live broadcast, whatever you want to call it. They have to be convicted. Now, of course, you have some individuals that like to be heard and like to be seen. I'll take all comers, wherever you want to come. Just make sure you understand the ground rules here. They will always be at the bottom of the screen. First of all, keep your money. Don't use the N-word. Don't use profanity. We will not engage in YouTuber or celebrity gossip. We will not permit libel or slander. Very simple. Of course, that cuts down my potential audience because everybody seems to love the N-word. Woo-wee. You can feel it just rolling around in their mouths every time they say it. Oh, must taste like peach cobbler every time they pronounce that N-word. And of course, you know, people like to curse. I curse, but about the only time I curse now is if I get behind the wheel of a car, at which point I will proceed to curse everybody on the road, even you. But that's there's not much chance of that in the very near future. Celebrity and YouTuber gossip. Well, so many channels have been built on that. Someone talking about someone, talking about somebody else, talking about somebody else, talking about somebody else. And so on, and so on, and so on. Those channels are very popular. Those channels get thousands of views, millions of subscribers, make people a lot of money. I'm not here for the money. I'm not here to be an influencer. I'm not here to run anybody into the ground. I'm not here to build anybody up. I'm here to listen to you because me, little old me, is the best listener ever. I am the best listener ever. I talk about my experience in listening in one of my longer form presentations. I won't go into that today. I'm here to talk about something that most people blew off when they read the title. Down here in the South, in places like Texas, we say, God don't like ugly. Now, in some places with some people, as soon as you say God, they stop listening. Probably because they either don't believe in God or they believe God doesn't believe in them. So as soon as you say God, they say, oh, look, let's keep it moving. But we say God don't like ugly. The sophisticated people say, they call it karma. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. It's a lot of different ways to put it. But here, we say God don't like ugly. And that is both a declarative statement and a warning. It's a warning. Because depending on what you believe, you also know that whatever you put out, whatever you emanate, whatever you say to other people, whatever you do to other people, eventually comes back to you. And in my experience, my long experience in life to this point, when I was younger, it took a little while for the go-arounds to come around. It might take years for the go-around to come around, the karma to return. But the older I've gotten, the faster the cycle seems to go. That you can do something wrong in the morning, and by the afternoon, you take careful note of the wrong that has come back to you. That's something going around to come around. That's karma. That's God not liking ugly. You cannot mistreat people, either through word or by deed, and expect to go scot-free. It does not happen. Trust me, I know. You can't wish ill on anyone without ill coming back to you. People used to talk about magic, black magic. And they said that if you prosecuted or perpetrated black magic on someone, it would come back to you. I believe that. I don't particularly believe in magic, but it's the same principle. If you do good, you will get good. You may not see it immediately. You can't just expect good things to happen to you because you purposefully do good things for other people. That's not the way it works. It has to come from the heart. Just like the evil that we do comes from the heart, the good that we do comes from the heart. Each of us has a heart. Each of us has intent to do either evil or good. Unfortunately, it seems to be a lot easier to speak evil words into existence and to do evil things than it is to say something good about someone or something, or to do something good for somebody. I don't particularly understand that, but it depends on your personality. Some people thrive on strife and aggression and backbiting and infighting and mud wrestling. Speaking of which, George Bernard Shaw, I believe, said, "You never wrestle with a pig. You get all muddy, and the pig loves it." I've always thought that was very nicely put. Never wrestle with a pig. You get all muddy, and the pig loves it. Now, I don't know who needs to hear that. I don't know who cares to hear that. I don't know who is going to get their back up over me saying that. And I haven't said anything about anybody in particular. If the shoe fits, wear it. We also say here in Texas that if you throw a rock in a pack of dogs, who's going to holler? The one that gets hit. I moved to the Gotham City of the South in 1981. And I thought I'd, being young and thinking I was smart, I thought I'd heard it all. But I'd sit around with people sometimes and we'd be just sitting back talking and hanging out. And I'd hear somebody say something I'd never heard before. I'd say, "What'd you say?" And they'd repeat it. And I'd say, "I never heard that before." And I learned a lot sitting, listening to people spill these old adages and sayings and back and forths, because they were all true. They were always true. God don't like ugly, y'all. If you don't want ugly, don't be ugly. Don't say ugly. Don't do ugly. Don't even think ugly. You will save yourself a lot of time and grief. Now, this is MOO. Once again, my opinion only. I'm not an authority on anything, much less anybody but me. And I know what works for me. And when I put aside the strife, put aside the aggression, put aside, trying to be one up on people, oh, what a feeling of peace. Oh, what a feeling of peace just enveloped my heart. That's why I'm a man of peace today. You'd have to work long and hard to get my dander up, as we say down here in Texas. You'd have to work long and hard to stoke my coals. Oh, I could take a lot. I just look at you and say, well, okay, that's the way you feel about it. I've had people try to snow me fairly recently. And boy, they did me dirty. Oh, they did. Oh, they just dragged me back and forth through the mud, smiling in my face. When I say they drug me back and forth, they drug me back and forth. You know why I didn't react? Because I never believed anything they told me. I learned early on that they were liars. They were cheats. They were prevaricators. They were traitors. And the truth was not in them. And because I knew that, I could just sit there and look at them while they lied and double dealt and thought they were setting me up, so that when their hand was played, all it did was make me feel good about myself, because I was never taken in. So how could I be mad at them for being the snakes that they were? You don't condemn a snake for being a snake. The snake can't help it. He was born, or she was born a snake. Let them be that snake. Don't you get down on the ground and crawl around with them. Okay? Okay. Now, if I have a tendency to draw when I'm talking about Texas, well, let me draw. I'm not going to tell you how to talk. I know how to talk. I can talk any way I want to. I prefer to communicate in the Queen's English, of course, because it's the most widely understood. But when I'm, just trying to relax and be real, if I want to be Texan, I'll be Texan. I didn't grow up in Texas, but I've lived here long enough to know how to talk Texas. And I don't have any problem doing it with anybody, anywhere. If anybody doesn't like it, well, I just need to let you know, and please don't forget this as you are introduced to this channel, and if you decide to follow it, I am not here for what you don't like. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not looking for friends. I'm not a fashion plate. I'm not trying to lure anybody into a web of deceit and possession. I got a whole wife. Don't tell her I told you. But I'm fond of saying, used to be fond of saying that us just folks here, but I'm just folks here because ain't nobody here but me. And I guess that's a good thing. And if I can't enjoy myself with myself by myself, what can I enjoy? Remember to like, remember to share, remember to subscribe and click on that notification button. And just because you click on the notification button doesn't mean that you have to turn us on every time you get notified. Just because you subscribe doesn't mean you have to watch every video. Just because you click like or even dislike, it's up to you. But please, show some recognition. I guess we're trying to get into the algorithm. That cuts both ways. Some people are safe not being in the algorithm, and some people are in grave danger being in the algorithm. I'm going to stop. I'm trying to keep this down to about, I guess I could go for another couple of minutes if I had anything else to say. It would be interesting to see if anybody else had anything to add. At one point, it will happen. It will happen. You only need a few people to participate. You see, when you get one or two people, a handful of people to participate, excuse me, I thought I was eating early. Pardon me, please. But since I mentioned it, don't ever expect to see me eating on this channel. If other people want to eat on their channels, drink on their channels, they can feel free. That's their presentation. That's their channel. That's their house. They can do whatever they want to do. But I was taught as a little boy not to talk with food in my mouth. But that was the old days. That was back in the old days. Things are different now. People do things in public and on camera that were unimaginable 20, 30 years ago. But now, with the advent of the internet and the ease of presenting yourself before thousands of people on a daily basis, the imagination appears to run wild. And a lot of people are running wild with it, and that's okay. I'm not condemning anybody. Nobody needs to go back and say that I said anything negative about anybody, because I haven't. I haven't mentioned anybody's name. I haven't mentioned anybody's channel, and I don't intend to. That's why we say no celebrity or YouTube gossip. I'll tell you one more thing, and then I'll let you go. I have a very dear friend, and he always said that be careful when you point the finger at anyone, because when you point that finger, you got 4 more pointing right back at you. Get it? All right. God don't like ugly. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back at 6 p.m. And we hope that you will join us at that time. Until that time, I'm signing off, and I'm encouraging you once again, please, don't let anybody make a monkey out of you. Don't make a monkey out of yourself. Be safe. Take care. Take care of each other, and peace. Peace.